Hey guys, what happened? Steam Machine reviews launched and they are not wonderful. This is not 10 out of 10 products, it seems. So the price seemed to be ridiculous, like really crazy, more than $1,000 for the most basic product, and the normal version with a controller and enough space on the drive, 2 terabytes drive, $1,400, ladies and gentlemen. So pretty ridiculous. And the performance is not great. It's about PlayStation 5 performance or worse. And PlayStation 5 is less than half the price of that specific model. And the feedback online is also pretty bad. And yet, somehow, ladies and gentlemen, I'm kind of excited. And there is a very bright side of having Steam Machine as weak as possible, ironically. What I mean by that, let me tell you. Let's very quickly talk about the price. According to Tech Power Up, if there would be no Rampocalypse, no AI fiasco, no this silly pricing, Steam Machine, the top-end model, which is mean just 2 terabyte and a controller, so pretty normal, would be 30% cheaper, which is great. But 30% cheaper is still $900, which is kind of ridiculous still. It would be still very expensive. And if Steam Machine would be cheaper, everything else also would be cheaper, not just Steam Machine. So in comparison to consoles, to PlayStation 5, Xbox, Nintendo, it would still be very expensive product. So how can I be excited? And how this price even happened? Now the price is pretty bad, I think because Valve is not very experienced and has no connection. So they couldn't secure very good deals and they made very silly mistakes. Actually, they made quite a lot of mistakes and they layered on top of each other, and they layer after layer, we got to the point of 1,400 for really bad hardware, really old hardware. And one of the best examples of their mistake is probably this one. As you can see, this is NVMe drive, but the tiny one. And you may say, okay, tiny, because they want to save cost. Actually, this tiny one is about twice as expensive as if you would use the normal size, the full size. So why they use the tiny one instead of the big ones if it's more expensive? Good question. I would like to know the answer. This is super expensive. I've tried to find this specific model, 2 terabyte, but on Amazon UK, I've only found this one. So this is 1 terabyte model, generation 4, and this is 214 British pounds. Yeah, so it would be $250 or more probably for 1 terabyte. For 2 terabytes, which is the maximum what you get in this form factor, I'm guessing, I don't know, $500? Pretty ridiculous. Why did they use that? Why did they use this tiny one? Actually, pretty much everything in Steam Machine is more expensive than if you would use the bigger parts, like a normal parts. So Steam Machine is rather weak and quite expensive. So how can I remain positive? I remain positive because what it represents and what it means for PC gaming in general. So let me show the front page of Steam. This is front page, you scroll down, and on the front page, you've got section for Steam Deck. Even though Valve sold only 5 million of Steam Deck, which is not a big number, PlayStation Vita was sold in 15 millions, 3 times more, and was considered a big failure. Steam Deck with 5 millions is considered a success, and it's success for all PC gamers. And ironically, the weaker it is, the better it is for everybody else. And the same is with the Steam Machine, because game developers are heavily rewarded to optimize for Steam Deck, because then they have a chance to appear on the front page. This is a huge boost to sales, and the same will happen with Steam Machine. So, if developers will optimize for Steam Machine and people will play that game on Steam Machine, they have much better chance to appear on the front page. And a lot of developers will aim for that. They will aim to optimize for Steam Machine. The weaker the Steam Machine will be, the better it will be for the gaming industry, for PC gamers, and for Valve. And you said, what do you mean? How it's better for Valve? The weaker the Steam Machine is, the easier the game to run for everybody, more game they will sell. Even if you have a potato, the game will more likely run on your PC as well. And I think that maybe that was the goal. That was the goal of Valve, to not intentionally to not make Steam Machine too powerful, to lower the minimum specs requirements for games as low as possible. Because the lower it is, the better it is for everybody. For them, selling more games to more people who can run those games. And also me personally, what I'm very excited is about the SteamOS itself. Now, if you judge the Steam Machine from the hardware only as a PC enthusiast and you consider Steam Machine like it is a normal small PC with Windows, then yeah, it's pretty disaster. But it doesn't run Windows. It runs SteamOS. And for a lot of people, it is a big deal and the main selling point. And since the Steam Machine reviews, this page got updated, and now in beta SteamOS support, we see AMD discrete GPUs, which means desktop. And actually here it says SteamOS 3.8 compatibility with other AMD powered PCs, handhelds and desktops. So desktops are now officially mentioned, officially supported, even if in beta. It's official now. And a quick recap from my previous video, you can install SteamOS on your PC. SteamOS on Steam Deck and Steam Machine is the same thing. There is no difference. It's only one SteamOS. The same with Windows. It's the same Windows for a desktop PC and handhelds. And just a quick recap, I was installing SteamOS in my previous video. This is update screen. You have nice graphics from Steam Machine. This is my normal PC. And 10 minutes later, bada bing, bada boom, you've got SteamOS installed on your PC if you have AMD GPU. That's the main requirement. Unfortunately, NVIDIA is not supported yet. I know that Valve is working on that and it's coming, hopefully soon, but at the moment it's AMD only. I know most people have NVIDIA, but it is what it is at the moment. So this is my personal Steam Machine Pro, and to recap the whole video, I've got some notes. Now, the cons of Steam Machines are obvious. It's very expensive, very weak, and it was advertised as 4K 60 FPS, which is pretty much a joke. But PlayStation 5, which is the same performance pretty much, is advertised as 4K 120. So Valve is way more honest, twice honest than Sony about performance. You cannot upgrade it really. The most important, at least, you cannot upgrade your CPU, you cannot upgrade your GPU. So from hardware point of view alone, Steam Machine is pretty bad. If you are an enthusiast, you will build your own. If you want SteamOS pre-installed, you will find value in Steam Machine. Now, what is pros? Now, let's go to the pros. I'm stretching a little bit. There's a lot of emotional, like for example, official product. This is not real advantage, but kind of is. You buy products you like. And a lot of people will buy Steam Machine because it's official Steam product. And it's the only PC in the world with officially pre-installed SteamOS. A lot of people were waiting for that, but they will never install SteamOS by themselves. They were waiting for a device with SteamOS. That is not a Steam Deck, that is a desktop PC. And here you go, you've got that now. And comparing to consoles like PlayStation, you can run emulator because it's still a PC. It's just a PC, but with, in my opinion, better OS. Now, SteamOS, I personally love SteamOS. It's one of the most stable OS I've ever seen. And Atomic updates, the way they work, it kind of fixes the system. Like every update feels like a fresh install. Everything just works so wonderfully great. I love it. I love SteamOS. So what's the goal of Steam Machine? It's to get more people on Steam, but not necessarily by selling more units. I don't think that's the most important for Valve. I think for Valve the most important is that developers, game developers, will optimize for Steam Machine. And the weaker it is, the better it is for everybody. Even if you don't care about Steam Machine, you don't plan to buy, you probably want Steam Machine to be as weak as possible. Ironically, because it means the games will run better for everybody. And SteamOS. I hope SteamOS will explode in popularity. I already see that. I already see a lot of people asking on Reddit, on internet in general, how to install SteamOS because now the Steam Machine was launched. People don't know it's exactly the same SteamOS it always was. But now they see confirmation. It works on Steam Machine. So it probably will work on desktop as well as a normal desktop OS. And it does. Again, only on AMD at the moment, but hopefully it will change soon. So yeah, pretty bad product in many ways, very badly priced, very low performance, and I remained optimistic. I think Steam Machine is very good for PC gaming, for the whole gaming industry, because it is so bad in many ways. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.